Hey guys, it's Paulie from Icebox Garage over here. Today I was going to show you guys how to do FG2 seats inside of a Civic EK. I've seen a few videos online, and there's a few, but I think my way is definitely pretty good. And I picked up FG2 seats at a swap meet for really cheap, 150 bucks, and I used only my stock EK seats. I drilled the brackets, all the rivets out, and from there I just swapped them onto the new seat. So I'll show you what I did. So as you can see, of course, here's my EK Civic. It's still in the works. One seat is already in, functional. Fits pretty well, pretty nicely. So right here are the brackets. This is the only modification I ended up making. I kept a stock for this Civic 08 FG2 seat. I kept this stock bracket, and then I just put an extension instead of drilling it out. And also, this is such a strong bracket that I wanted to keep it in its original form. So with the seats, then these are EKs. I modified them on the sides to make it easier, because then they flex a little too much with the rails, trying to get them into the stock mounting points. So these all over here are from the FG2, the newer SI seats. Obviously, they were all in like this, and they were all riveted. So what you have to do, which is pretty tedious, is you drill out the rivets in all of your new seats, and then you also have to drill out all of the brackets from your old seats. See how there's no more brackets, there's just holes, and everything has been fully stripped off the EK seat platforms. So once you drill out all the EK brackets, and then you drill out all the FG2 brackets, then you take your bare FG2 frames, and then these will bolt right into the stock holes that the rivets were in. Same as this one right here. Same as for this one right here. The only difference is that on this one, actually, I ended up moving this 2 holes. So as you see, this hole is right here, and then I ended up using the 2 holes in, so that way it lines up. And then it'll line up right in the back like that. As you see, there are those holes right there, and then they'll match right up. And just for the hardware that I used, I ended up using some rivets in places I could actually fit my rivet gun, because in this opening, the rivet gun obviously wouldn't fit, but it fit in here. And then I put a bolt, so that way it has strength from both types, bolt and a rivet, better than just one or the other alone. And what I use for the bolts, it's important because so it doesn't interfere with the seat rail. I don't know if you guys will be able to see this, but I obviously got panhead bolts with the taper on both sides, so that way they can fit nice and in, and there's no issue with it interfering whenever the rail slides back and forth. As you see, I've numbered them on this one as just simply 1, 2, and then 3. This is because actually, on both seats, they're actually a mirror image of each other. So this will even work. This right here is the passenger seat. This will work on the driver's seat too. The brackets are all going to be in just about the same place because they're just flip-flops and mirror image, as I said earlier. So if you label them 1, 2, and 3 off your EK seats, then you just pop them right in to the FG2s, 1, 2, and 3, and then you make yourself a little flat stock bracket. You could go with drilling these out and putting in an EK bracket, but I just chose to do it this way. I seemed to be a lot easier, and I just really didn't feel like drilling these out. These are also quite challenging, and as you see, for some reason, this is only on the passenger seat, but they have triangular kind of bolts. No socket that I have would have obviously fit this. Also worth mentioning about this bracket right here, the hole from your new one to mount to the FG2 seat back to your stock floorboard bolt, this distance right here is only about an inch in between. So that's basically all it is. Not a very great distance. And I say start out with an inch. You may still have to file. For me, it was a lot of, obviously, trial and error, making things just back and forth. But take your time. You'll get through it, and you'll be able to figure it out. So, with having all these brackets then made up and everything set up to swap your new FG2 seat into your EK, I will walk you through how to do that right now. Okay guys, so now I'm here with the passenger seat of the FG2, trying to put it inside the EK, and I started running into some more issues. For some reason it wasn't fitting, but it looks like the other side seemed to only be one hole, but this, I needed to be moved an extra hole, so now I'm trying to fasten it to these two holes up here. It's just loosely fitted. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten it down, and then I'm gonna go try to slap this in the car, and hopefully all should go well. As well as I also modified this bracket and drilled through it and filed it some more so that we can get more clearance, so we can reach the bottom bolt hole for the passenger side. Hey guys, so I ran into some more problems with the passenger seat on the FG2 seats putting inside the EK. So I had to improvise, and I'll show you what I did on the car, but I ended up using one of the FG2 brackets that I'm not using, obviously, and I cut half of it off, and it functioned as a pretty good lift for the passenger side, and I'll show you that now. So I was having a lot of problems with the seat teeter-tottering and being really crooked, so what I ended up doing was I used that, and with the two holes already inside of that bracket that I half cut, it functioned well to then have a carriage bolt with a locking nut, and then just a stock bolt bolting it to the original spot on the floorboard. So the only thing is, with the passenger seat, for some reason it seemed to be significantly more complicated than the driver's seat. But simply put, all I needed was that bracket to relocate that bolt with a carriage bolt, and then this lift for this side. But now, if you look at it, they went in relatively well. They look pretty decent. So that's a wrap on the seats. They're in, they look nice, they feel unbelievably comfortable, I must say so myself. If you're thinking about doing this project, I think definitely takes a lot of cutting and measuring back and forth, but you got to just take your time. I mean, that's just what fixing cars is all about. And all you need is just some drill bits, some flat stock steel, carriage bolts, and then I put lock nuts to make it extra safe, and then you need some panhead bolts to put the brackets onto your new seat rails. But outside of that, that's just about it. I bought these seats, like I said, for 150 bucks. And I probably only have maybe 160, 165 into getting them into this car. And if you look on Marketplace, there's so many people, there's like, oh, $600, I have custom welded frame rails. I just don't see the need for that. And I'm sure you guys, you know, don't want to be spending $600 on your Honda Civic. Like, there's no purpose. There's no purpose. So yeah, all you got to do is just drill out all the brackets. That's step one. Then step two is obviously bolt in the new brackets. Then step three is going to be make your coupler brackets that are going to help mount the seat to the car. So you have one on the driver's side, one right here on the passenger side to lift it, and then you have opposite of this one that's right here for right here. So you have these two, and then one over here custom bracket that you need to make. So only 3 custom brackets made out of flat stock steel, and then the recycled FG2 bracket, and then that's just about it. If you guys like the video, obviously leave a like, leave a comment. I'm doing a lot more to this car. I have so many other projects I can't even list. Anything you'd want to see. I'm an all-around car guy. I started out with American. I like German. I have an Audi. And then I bought this just to mess around. But all-around car guy. Anything you want to see done, send me a comment, send me a DM, anything. And take it easy, guys. Hope you learned something today.